What cracking, ladies and gentlemen? It's Josh here, and just trying to be a little more motivated because I've noticed in my videos that I'm pretty what's the word, calm, and a lot of people in the GPC tend to be more lively, and typically their quality when it comes to video is a lot better, and especially when it comes to background music because I really don't know how to edit that well, but Hunter did help me out. So hopefully the background music in this video is a little more better, so to say. Anyways, it's like 10:43 p.m. right now. It's Sunday night, and I do have a day off tomorrow. So yeah, hopefully they should be up by like midnight. Hopefully, but we'll see. Anyways, as you can see, we are on the GPC spreadsheet, and you may be asking why. Well, that team right in the middle, not the Lincolnster Raptors, the Crawthorne Crabhammers. As you can see, you got a pretty threatening squad with Sancho, Repardos, with the core. Not to mention I got the primary, but the Delphox, and yeah, pretty scary stuff. Not gonna lie. And 5-1. Are they 5-1? Yeah, I'm pretty sure they're 5-1. And yeah, I know they only have one loss so far, and it's either out of 6 games or it is out of 6 games. So yeah, they're 5-1. Pretty decent record. And they got a pretty scary team. They got a pretty good fire. Well, their Dragon Steel Fairy Core is pretty phenomenal, not gonna lie. And then they got Native Queen for pretty good Stealth Rock offensive supports, and then Umbreon for Wish support, very good Pokemon on doing so. Then a lot of his other Pokemon can be quite a bit of difference. Well, not different stuff, but his team could be anything else besides. So he has Sandshrew for potential like very physical bulk for like Stealth Rock, or have a little nice niche over, I don't know, something. I'm sure it can do something. Repardos, can be like a Sash Lead for Stealth Rock. It can be like Rock Polish offensive, something like that. You got Delphox for like Subcombine, Scarf Primary, potentially Whole Closet Rent, Scarf Rotomo, Defensive Rotomo, Specs Rotomo. Combinations are pretty endless, but for the most part, I've been looking at his videos, and he has brought Megalodius and Skarm to every single match, and not Touche, what am I trying to say? Like, I don't blame him. That core is phenomenal. And there's literally no reason to never bring your Mega, especially if it's a Megalodius, the most broken Mega, in Counter Team, and Skarmory, which is like the best defensive Pokemon in the game, in my opinion, next to Clefable. But in my opinion, Clefable is both offensive and defensive, while Skarmory is mainly a defensive utility Pokemon. But that's not what I'm trying to get into. I am talking about his team. It's pretty scary, but it's pretty one-dimensional for the most part. He's brought he's brought Calm Mind Latias pretty often, to the point where if he does bring it, it wouldn't surprise me. Skarm, he hasn't really brought the Fog too many times, but he's definitely brought it as a really good wall. And then he's brought Native Queen about 70% of the time, Azu about another 70%. He's brought Renamo a couple times. He's brought Repardos a couple times. Sandshrew week 1. And he brought Umbreon to most of his games as well. But the reason why I feel like he won't bring Umbreon versus me is because I have a Manaphy. I could set up on it reasonably. I had the same mistake last time. He could set up on it rather easily, and he doesn't want that, I'm sure. Not to mention Mega Scissor really pressures it, especially with mine. Even Foul Play will do too much. And even if he does decide to sack his Umbreon to try to just go for a Foul Play, then that's his business. And Togekiss, pretty threatening Pokemon to his team. I have Latias. Latias does a lot to his team if he doesn't bring Umbreon, or if Umbreon dies. And I'll go over my team right now. But yeah, as you can see, my team is the same as always. I'll put his team right here one more time. You can pause so you can get a good look at his beautiful team. And 3, 2, 1, and here we go. Let's make let's hide this so we can get the full screen action. As you can see, I didn't mean to put this as my first Pokemon, but we might as well show it. My main man, the Mega Man, just a normal Manectric with Focus Sash. I was talking with Blue about the item because there was a good amount of items you could run. We were taking Life Orb, we taking Zap Plate, Expert Belt, and in the end we decided to come with Focus Sash because if Azu ever goes up to +6 and my Latias is weakened, it would be good to have something that can just kill it with Thunderbolt and or Volt Switch. So that's why Focus Sash is pretty cool, especially since my Defogger, which you'll see is Scizor, easily defogs up on his Stealth Rocket. to the point where if it came down to it, it would be a rather annoying stalwart, but I would always be able to get the fog off. And I have Pokemon on my team such as Manectric to pressure Skarmory. And you know, Volt Switch is pretty good versus his team. He does have a good amount of, he does have a couple of good ground immunities. One being Sandshrew and one being the Nidoqueen. Nidoqueen being the one I expect more than anything else for multiple different reasons. And you know, I have Hidden Power Ice, so I can hit Nidoqueen for some damage. It's going to do absolutely zero because I'm not a Life Orb or Specs or any boosted item of the sort. But it will hit for some damage, and that's great. Volt Switch and Thunderbolt. Thunderbolt is for good raw damage. Volt Switch is for pivoting, and you know, Overheat is for Rotom. Simple as that. Pretty self-explanatory, but it's basically here to function with my Mega Scizor, who is, you know, coming to play with the Volturn core, packing the Bullet Punch this week for Rampardos, and you know, if I break its Sash, which I kind of expect him to bring, if he does bring it versus me, that would be great. And not to mention how it really pressures Mega Latias, especially since with this amount of the bulk I have, it can't really kill me with HP Fire. The speed is just enough speed for like, if Nidoqueen outspeeds me, I kind of know its spread. That's pretty much what I was thinking. I put the rest in Spadef, but the 60 into attack was pretty much all I needed. It was, I'm pretty sure this was just a 2KO on Mega Latias with U-turn every time. Or no, it was so Bullet Punch could break a sub for my max HP Mega Latias. If it doesn't break a sub, then I know he's very defensive invested and HP invested. Oh my goodness. I need to learn how to speak English again, man. Yeah, Roost is for longevity. Of course, the Fogus I can support my Togekiss and my Sash and my Manectric if it comes down to it. And, you know, it's pretty standard stuff. It's set around 60 with Adamant Nature because Adamant Nature boosted my attack just that much more, and I didn't really need the defense. I didn't really need the defense nature this week. So I decided to go with Adamant Nature. Felt like it was pretty good. So yeah, that's what I went with. Anyways, my next Pokemon is my Spadef Piloswine. Not bringing the max HP max Spadef set. I'm bringing more of a tank set this time because lately, throughout my entire season, Piloswine has not been the tank build. It's just been there to actually be a wall and not actually dish out hits, even though it does hit reasonably hard, even with no investment. This is meant to actually hit Mega Latias really hard because Mega Latias is really bulky, and I want to do anything I possibly can to weaken it. Especially since Icicle Crash does 2KO, and you know, the only way he can actually roost on me out is if I miss a lot of Icicle Crashes, and that would be bad if that happens. But if it happens, then you know, oh well. I have Stealth Rock because it easily sets up Stealth Rock on Pokemon such as Skarm. Even though Skarm easily sets up rocks on me, if it really comes down to it, I will let him get up his rocks. Because look at his team. It doesn't look like it, but rocks actually do help quite a bit. Like if he brings the Rampardos, it can break the Sash. He'll do residual damage to Umbreon to where Draco will do a good amount of damage even after rocks, especially if he's taking prior damage. It forces him to go for Wish. It's good for Pokemon like Skarm. It puts it in range of my attacks for my special attackers. And, you know, just good for Azu and Mega Latias because, you know, any chip damage. Oh, no. That was the replay. Don't want to show the replay just yet. Okay, and yeah. No, it's pretty much there to just, if it needs to set up rocks, it can do so. But if I find it doesn't need to, then I won't do so. I'll just attack. And yeah, even without 299 attack this week, it's Earthquake hits reasonably hard. It destroys Delphox. It hits it definitely hits Azu reasonably well. Like, it does a lot. that's all that matters. And you know, that's pretty much Piloswine this week. And next is my Rojo Tojo, which actually isn't nicknamed Rojo Tojo in the match because I forgot to name it when the match happened. Oh well. And you know, halfway through the, you know, I was building my team and I had this as Latios. I don't know why, but luckily I didn't enter the match with a Latios in my team because I realized, oh man, I don't have a Latios, I have a Latias, and you know, I made that quick exchange. But it was the same moveset, same spread, because this is designed to pretty much wall break his team. Besides Umbreon, this thing really just like tears a hole, especially if he runs HP Fire. Latias, I outspeed him 100% of the time because he has to run at 30 IV, and that's always fun. Same case scenario happened with Makati, but just to be safe, I ran the Crabhammers This week I want the life orb so I can do a lot of damage with Draco, because with the life orb I have a really good chance of just OHKOing a max HP Megalodios. And after rocks it will 100% OHKOs, which is fine and dandy. And Psychic is for Nidoqueen, that just murders it. And Thunderbolt is for Azu and Skarm. If Skarm is Pidef, Thunderbolt will still do a lot, and if Azu is AV, I get to find out, but I'll never keep it in. But if he for some reason switches in Azu by Latias, I can scout for its like spread. I really don't think he'll bring AV because he doesn't really seem to be too fond of AV Azu, which I can respect because it's cool to see you run Bandit or Belly Drum or a berry to weaken a poison or electric move, etc., etc. And that was pretty much what I was thinking. He's not gonna run AV, but if he runs AV, so be it. It just means he has a lot less power, and Scizor can handle it reasonably well. Anyways, my next Pokemon is my Togekiss. Enough special attack to break a sub on a max HP of Megalodios 100% of the time. Enough speed to outspeed a max speed Adamant Rampardos if he's Jolly, or some speed boost in nature, in case he wants to be like mixed. I don't know why, but if he wants to, yeah, etc. If he wants to be Jolly, max speed, he'll outspeed me, but if he is Adamant, which I would expect for him to bring, I outspeed him. And Air Slash does it does a good amount, 3 KOs at Rampardos, which is awesome. Thunder Wave is so I can potentially Thunder Wave something. Like if his Megalodios is forced to go for Roots versus me, I can Thunder Wave it, and it's essentially worthless versus my team. I pretty much beat it no matter what. And if I Thunder Wave Latias, I support my Manaphy reasonably well. And as you can see, his team. His main core that he's brought most of the season is Megalodios, Azu, Skarm, Nidoqueen, and from time to time he's brought the Umbreon, and then Mo would be like his 6th, but he's been pretty diverse when it comes to his Primate Rampardos and his Durant, but he hasn't brought Delphox once, so yeah, by the way, I don't expect Delphox. If he brings it in, I can potentially, I'm not gonna lie, my team doesn't deal with Delphox at all that well. But between Manaphy and Palosphine, I'd probably be okay. I was actually pretty close to running an Earthquake on my Latias, like I did for Merc. But I felt like Roost is better because this thing is a pretty great switch in for a Scarf or even Spectrum Mo. Unless he were to trick me, which even if he did trick me, I'd still be offensive, and he would still not have much of a switch in for this. Well, in theory, and that would be the worst case scenario. But besides that, this thing is a really good wall over to Mo, especially if he's offensive. If he's defensive, then he can burn me and do weird stuff to me, and I don't want that. But yeah, Togekiss. Back to Togekiss. Yeah, Air Slash, Thunder Wave, Heal Bell, just in case I get burned or something like that. If I get Toxic by Umbreon, which I have Toxic on something. Do I not? Well, I guess in my original build, I had Toxic, but if Umbreon does choose to status me, I can easily Heal Bell on Umbreon with Togekiss, and I'm pretty sure if in case he doesn't really have much of a Scald user on this team. I just realized that, but that's not the point. I'm just going over. I need to go over what my team is mainly about, and that was for offensive Volt Turn, just to get rid of his fast threats, and his only fast threat that he's brought most of the season is Megalodios. And once Megalodios dies, my Manaphy outspeeds his whole team. That I expect, at least. And this is the set. You may be wondering, why can't you touch Azu? I just couldn't. I wanted Substitute and Tail Glow, and there was not much I could do about it afterwards. I even want to run Encore just so I can get the guaranteed Salisbury if I was really, really low, but there was just no way. I needed 2 moves, and those 2 moves were Surf and Ice Beam. If Azu, if he's not AV, it's under 50%, well, 50% or less, it will die at +3 Surf, even with just 56 special attack investment, and even if he's max HP, I believe, and that's pretty much the plan with Manaphy. If Azu is dead and I outspeed his whole team, this thing actually wins. And, that would be the plan and the course of action. But the main course of action is to U-turn and volt switch and U-turn if I make a scissor with my magnetic. Except rocks are just force pressure with my Palace Line and my Mega Latias. Done away with air slash stuff. And then Manaphy could potentially tail glow and force offensive pressure. Anyways, that's the end of the team builder, and I'll be back in a couple seconds with and bada bing, bada boom. Welcome back. And yeah, as you can see his team right here. Got the Rampardos, pretty scary Pokemon. Got the Skarm, got the Mega Latias, like he's right every week to be expected. Brought the Nidoqueen, brought the Azu, brought the Rotom Cut. Yeah, I mean, Rotom Cut, just looking at his team, it was 100% Scarf because his, besides Latias, his fastest Pokemon is Rotom-Mow. It's actually his fastest Pokemon, so it was definitely Scarf Rotom-Mow for Manaphy. That was just pretty obvious. And yeah, just looking at his team, if I can get rid of like Rotom-Mow and Latias, Manaphy wins, just 100%. Well, actually, I gotta do a lot of stuff before Manaphy actually wins. But yeah, looking at his team, one ground type, which I knew he was gonna bring one, and I knew that one was going to be the Nidoqueen, because Nidoqueen is just a good Pokemon in general. And his team has 3 Stealth Rockers with Skarm, Nidoqueen, and Rampardos. I didn't know which one was gonna be the one. So I just let it Togekiss because it outspeeds all 3 of them in theory, and unless he's very speedy, I think you have to be like timid, a lot of speed on Nidoqueen outspeed my Togekiss, and so in my head I was like, that seems like a smart idea, I'll go with that. So I am going to indeed lead with the Togekiss. It leads with the Amarillo, so I'm just gonna go for Air Slash. Second scout his spread as he goes into Trimming and Grinning, as he takes a lot of damage from that Air Slash. Pretty much proving he is very offensive, and looking at the calc, that is definitely a good amount of damage, and it pretty much proves that if he was a Scarf Rotom mode, that it would just do about 40 something. It would do about at the very least about high 40s to about 56%, and that looked just like the roll. So I was like, you know what, you are 100% Scarf. So looking at my team, I'm like, okay, you're probably going to go Trick right now if you want to cripple my switch and be in a potential Palace Line, and even Latias, or you're just going to go for Leaf Storm. There's no way you go for Volt Switch here, knowing I have a Palace Line. So I am going to indeed just go into my Latias, as he is going to go for the Leaf Storm. I didn't count what kind of nature he had at this point, because I just knew Leaf Storm was not going to do a lot to me. So at this point, I'm going to just fire off a Psychic, because, let me explain this. If he goes into Latias, I'm going to expect him to have HP Fire, and if he actually wins the Speed type for one, and then kills me with a Dragon move, then yeah, that'd be worst case scenario. But so I was thinking, I'm not going to think about worst case scenario. I'm just going to click Psychic. He has 2 immunities, I mean not 2 resistances, one being weak to Draco, one being weak to Thunderbolt. So I'm going to click Psychic, and he sends in this thing, and it dies. It died. It went onto the field and it hit the ground crying like it didn't know it hit it. By the way, it didn't bring Umbreon, and I'm going to probably just guess because it was Manaphy fodder, and he knew his speed tiers, especially on his team, did not deal with Manaphy well. So I mean, that kind of made sense. Not to mention I have a Mega Scizor, and etc. Anyways, it brings it the Amarillo again, and at this point, I'm going to go into my Togekiss because I eat any hit, even if it's Banded Adamant, because I ran enough investments to be able to eat anything from full. And yeah, that pretty much proves he's 100%. He's 100% Banded. There's no way we would do that much otherwise. So at this point, I'm gonna go for Air Splash because if I can get this, for one, I want to scout for damage, and two, if I flinch him, which I do, I get to it's a free turn for me. I find out what his spread was, and I get to get damage off, put him in range of a +3 Surf. The good stuff. And yeah, this proves that he is just max HP, probably Banded. Well, not max HP, it's somewhat speed invested for something, I'm gonna guess. And at this point, I was predicting him to predict another Air Slash, and I was thinking, what would he go into to eat this Air Slash? And I was thinking, well, probably Skarm. So you know what I'm gonna do on the Skarm? I'm gonna go into my Mega Scizor, and I'm going to get the free Mega off and U-turn, and then go into my Manectric and start the Volt turn, because that was the point. But he goes into his Rampardos instead. This wasn't a counter to an Air Slash, and I outsped you, most likely. So I don't really understand that, but touche. And yeah, at this point I'm going to go for Bullet Punch if he actually lives. And if he has Fire Punch, he 100% destroys me because it's probably sheer force adamant. And I'm just gonna go for Bullet Punch because, you know, why not? If he's Stash, I get to find out. By the way, look at his new animation for berry eating. It looks really, really cool. And as I said, I just died of a Fire Punch, and that's not fun. And yeah, so he wasn't Stash. He was. I mean, I kind of figured he was gonna bring something to just shut down my Mega Scissor with Rampardos. And I mean, I was like 50% correct, which is still failing. Anyways, Volt Switch might not kill because I know he's somewhat HP invested because Bullet Punch did not do that much with the Berry. And but Thunderbolt did 100% kill, so I'm just gonna click Thunderbolt. Luckily, he didn't switch and he didn't keep this monster around, thank God. But I guess most of my team outsped it. Anyways, he goes into his Latias as I'm going to go into my Young Swine, mainly because it's my only counter. And I know he's probably gonna go for a Calm Mind here because that's just his best play if he wanted to, but he decides to switch into Grubmo. And Ice Shard does not kill from this range. I don't want to take a Leaf Storm. It doesn't seem like my cup of tea. Because Palisman prefers to not roll around the leaves, even though it's fall season. I don't know why. As he goes for the Leaf Storm and he doesn't kill me, he's gonna go for another one, hoping for a crit. I'm gonna guess because this thing is a huge threat to his team. If he had the opportunity to potentially kill it with RNG, why would you not do so? As he tried to do so, and it didn't work. As he's gonna go into this thing as I click the Psychic move, and that does a lot of damage, proving he's not very specially defensive invested at all. I don't know. I mean, he's. According to my calc, he's like max his death, which I mean, I guess he really didn't want to get swept by a +6 Scizor, and I guess he had Whirlwind. That made sense. But I mean, I thought he was gonna bring us. I thought he was gonna bring us Spadef set to deal with Manaphy as well. But I mean, I don't know why. I don't know what he was. I mean, I watched his team builder to understand why he was max his death, but I didn't understand. And he did tell me that the Spadef drop mattered, but if Psychic was doing 35%, if Psychic was doing 35%, T-Bolt was going to do about 90% at the very least. So, did it really matter? I don't think so, especially since he was a Wakanberry, like I kind of thought he was. If he really was Wakanberry though, which he wasn't with the Spadef drop, he died anyways. As he's going to go into Buff Spiral. I already mentioned this with the calc. If you want me to show you the calc, I might as well. And anyways. Now let's go into Latias, which offensive defog isn't max special attack. I didn't know that because I kind of just figured the calc would have max special attack Latias. So I was using that calc in the game. I didn't even notice it wasn't max special attack. So Draco was actually doing a lot less to a Mega Latias on the calc than I thought it was going to. I still clicked it because it had a good chance to kill. But yeah, look at this: 95 to 112 to a max HP Mega Latias, which. If you were to bring, that's what I would expect. So I'm like, if it doesn't kill, then I mean, that's fine. I kill you with Ice Shard. But as he does switch, which is fine. I mean, the only thing not fine about this is that he does get a free Calm Mind, essentially. And not much I can do about that. The only thing I can really do is just go into my Piloswine and hope everything's going to be alright. So, like I've been doing this entire season, I've been praying that Piloswine does what it does when I bring it. And that is wall stuff and hit it really hard. As he goes for 2 Calm Minds, which is pretty scary because if he has like Surf, it's going to do a lot. As he's now going to just try to stall me with Icicle Crash. As Palisman decides not to give a shit and he just goes for a crit Icicle Crash and puts him down to 8%. And at this point, I should have clicked. I was so close to clicking Stealth Rock knowing he would switch. But I clicked Ice Shard spoilers and he will switch into Azu. But if I would have clicked Stealth Rock, that would have been such a cool play. But, you know, whatever. At this point, the game is actually pretty over because that crit pretty much, sealed the deal. And I don't think the crit mattered because it pretty much sped up the crosses unless I missed. If that was the case, then I would have been in a huge trouble. But that's not what happened. And as you can see, Piloswine is gonna beat this thing. And what was I going with this? I knew I was going with something. But yeah, no, I mean, I know what I was gonna say. Yeah, I was doing 56%, and he was only roosting up 50%, meaning I was doing 6% out of 50. That's like about. Let me do my math really quick. It's about 12%. I'm doing 12% every time. Essentially, that adds up. Like after 4 turns alone, I'm already doing 48%, and he wouldn't be able to beat me essentially. So I'm gonna click Ice Shard as he does switch. I almost clicked Stealth Rock, but if he had clicked anything else, like if he had clicked a water move and I went for Stealth Rock, that would have been bad. Anyways, this is like a really Not only did I crit with the icicle crash, he misses a play rough to kill with my Tokus and lower the differential. That essentially made it a 5-0, but not just yet, because he could potentially break from his air slash and just kill me with play rough like he deserves. But Pokemon, that's all I can say. Yeah, I go for another air slash. I don't miss like I deserve to miss at that point. I didn't even miss, and I felt really bad about that. And at this point, I'm going to feel even worse because if he has sub, I know he can't go for sub. He's going to go for roost if he has it, and I could Q-wave because I'm sick. I'm sick in the inside. I suffer from crippling depression. I need help, guys. If you're out there right now and you're watching this, please call for help. If you're like, I'm really sick to my stomach, and as you can see, this Megalodios is it's gonna be killed. It's about to die right now because it's spoilers. I don't miss this air slash, and yeah, it's a 5-0 to Texas Earthquake, and yeah. For all Crabhammers, yeah, it was 5-0. Make them 5-2. We become 4 and no, I'm 5-2. Yes, I'm 5-2, and yeah, that's great because we are higher, and we got a good amount of points because a lot of our wins have been really close. This one was a 5-0. I needed this one for sure because it gives me a lot of points that I need to make playoffs at this point, and we're coming to the backstretch, and it's very close, and very exciting match. A lot of RNG in my favor, and I felt really bad about that. I really did. But I mean, there's not much I could do about that. I wasn't really asking for it. I was just trying to do what I needed to do to win, and really sucked. It sucked for Gareth. I felt bad, but I'm sure his video will be funny about this match because a lot of his videos have dank edits, and I love his edits, and his videos are pretty funny. Even when he can't commentate and he just puts music in the background or something, it's still funny. I love it. I love his vids. So check him out. He's funny. He's awesome, and yeah, GG to Gareth. Really fast-paced match. I really didn't mention that, but yeah, definitely very fast-paced. And that's pretty much the end of the game. Not much more I can say. I'll be facing I don't know who my next week opponent is, but you'll be able to find out with the next video coming up. On my ICL matches, I will try to record those as soon as possible, and because I know the people who are in the ICL, I'm sure they want to listen to what I have to say about my matches and what I was thinking about, because I mean, we're going pretty smoothly. I'm not going to talk about what happened after week, what was it, 2? I don't know what was the last time I hosted an ICL match, but yeah. Anyways, I'll be up on out of here, and yeah, au revoir, and peace.